video, I talked to you about the 38 books that I read between January to May. Hey guys, I am Sankalpita and you're watching Book Geeks India, which is a channel where I make book related videos. In this video, I talked to you about 38 books that I read between January to May. Now, I know I should have done a reading wrap up every month because I'm a booktuber and I'm supposed to do that, but I just did not do it. So please forgive me for that. But here I am talking about all the books that I read between these 5 months. So before I start, I want to tell you two things. Number one is that out of these 38 books, I read 13 books which were sent to me as review copies by publishers or by authors, and the other 25 books were my own picks. And number two is that, as you know, if you have been watching my channel for some time, you know that I always talk about all the books that I read in a given period in my order of preference, so that the best books will come in the beginning and the worst books will come in the end. And now, because I have 38 books to talk to you about, let's begin. Book number one, and this is one book that I absolutely loved, is Get Smart by Brian Tracy. Now, this is a self-help book. This is a book that I would certainly want every one of you to read because it helps you so much in growing as a person, as an individual, as a professional. And this is a book that tells you that your thoughts matter because your thoughts translate into words and your words translate into actions. So this book is a collection of tools and techniques that you can practice yourself to teach your mind how to think in a better way, how to think in a positive way. It's a wonderful read, and like I said, I would definitely recommend it to you guys. Book number two is called The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, this is a book that I absolutely love because it has just so much entertainment in it. Now, if you think about the name, you would think that this is a scandalous type of read, but no, it's not just a scandalous read. It is much more than that. It has historical fiction, elements of it at least. It also has elements of LGBTQ. It is a power-packed period drama, and it also has a lot of glamour, fashion, and of course Hollywood. So this is the story of this aging Hollywood starlet called Evelyn Hugo, whose life was full of scandals when she was in the prime of her career. In addition to her career, she was also famous for her 7 marriages, but nobody knew the intricacies of these marriages, nobody knew the details of these marriages, and that is what everybody is excited to know. And I would not tell you anything apart from that because I think you should read this book yourself to know more. Book number three is called The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine. So this book is actually the story of three main characters, Daphne Parrish, Jackson Parrish, and Amber Patterson. Now, Amber is a kind of girl who is a nobody. She easily blends into the background. Nobody seems to notice her, but Amber thinks that she does not deserve this. She deserves something better. She thinks that she deserves the rich and luxurious and colorful life of somebody like Daphne Parrish, who it seems to her that she takes everything that life has offered to her for granted. So Amber devises a very cruel, a very shrewd and cunning plan to put herself, to launch herself into the lives of Jackson and Daphne Parrish, the absolute it couple of the town. But Amber's journey will not be an easy one. You would be reading this book and you would be thinking something, but then the author will completely change your entire expectations. Book number four is Becoming by Michelle Obama. So this is Michelle's own biography in her own words, and she has been very honest and sincere in everything that she has to tell about her life. In this book, she starts from the very beginning of her life in the south side of Chicago, where she grew up as a child. She then moves on to tell about her Ivy League colleges, her corporate and professional career, finally telling us about how she met Barack, how she fell in love with him, and how they got together, how they married. She also talks about her experiences of balancing motherhood, her family commitments, and her corporate career. And finally, the best part is when she talks about her experience of being in the most famous address of the world. Book number 5 is again a mystery thriller. So this is called You Are Not Alone, and it's co-authored by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. So this is the story of this one girl called Shay Miller. Now Shay is a lonely person. She wants a great career but she doesn't have it, and she also wants to be friends with people but she's not. She's just isolated, she's alone. Now when in life Shay meets these amazing sisters, the Moore sisters, Cassandra and Jane, Shay is actually wowed by them because they are successful, they are gorgeous, they are like diva like, they are fashionistas, they are men magnets, and they are rich. They are just about everything that Shay wants to be in life. Shay wants their life, but she doesn't know that they actually want her life. So, this is again a very, very diabolical tale, and the author just surprises you. The next book is called The Wife Between Us, and this is also written by the same authors, Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. Now, I will not get into the story because I think the story is very similar to The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine. Now, the thing in this book is that you will assume a lot of things, and every single assumption of yours will be broken, will be shattered. Now, when you start reading this book, you would think that this is the story of a jealous ex wife who's kind of obsessed with her new replacement, a new replacement who's shinier and much prettier and obviously much younger and more beautiful than her. But like I said, you make all the assumptions that you have to, but every single one of them would be broken. Book number 7 is a young adult scientific fiction come dystopia. So it's all of these blended into one. So this is the story of a world where love has been declared as a disease. So long before, people used to view love as a blessing. They would think that love is something to be celebrated. But finally, when scientists did find the cure for love, people realized that all that was a sham. And now there is this establishment, this government in America, which has made compulsory for every individual above 18 years of age to get this cure for love or deliria. So this deliria is America's greatest enemy in this time. And though they have managed to eradicate this deliria from America, from today's America, what still remains to be done is to find a cure for people who are under 18 years of age. Now, this book tells us the story of this girl called Lena who's just about to receive her cure in another 95 days. She is excited for her life ahead because she knows that going forward, her life would be devoid of every pain and it will be a straight, uniform path and she would be happy forever. But just 95 days before receiving her cure, Lena does the unthinkable. She falls in love, and this is the premise of the book. The next book is We Should All Be Feminists by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. So this is a non-fiction that is a collection of essays which the author has written about feminism. So this book is basically adapted from a TED talk that the author gave on the same subject. And it manages to define feminism of the 21st century in its own unique way. So it talks about discrimination, not just blatant discrimination, but also subtle ones, and the kind of discrimination that happens when people don't even realize that it is happening. So this is a powerful read, and I think it should be read by every single female individual out there. Even if you're not a reader, trust me, you should be reading this book. Book number 9 is called After by Anna Todd. So basically, this book was written as a fan fiction on Wattpad. And this was a fan fiction written about Harry Styles of the band One Direction. And it got viral from there. So many people read it and loved it. It has a total of 1 billion reads all over the internet. So that's huge. And it was only later that this fan fiction was made into a book, and that book was made into a movie. So we have a very nerdy and sincere and decent girl called Tessa, and we have this bad guy, a guy who is cocky, who has a strange British accent, a guy who has lip rings and has a body full of tattoos. So he's the ultimate bad guy, and there are two people who are completely opposites who should never ever fall in love, but somehow they do, and this is the story of that. I'll be honest, there's not an ounce of literary content in this book, but still, it's such a lengthy read. It's almost 700 pages, and I still managed to read it in I think 1 or 2 days. That's all it took me to finish this book because the chemistry was just insane. Book number 10 is a light, chiclety drama, romantic comedy. So the story goes like this. There are two people who are absolutely in hate with each other. They cannot stand each other, but somehow they end up being on a honeymoon together. This honeymoon was not originally theirs, but still they had to go because of some circumstances. Now they do agree for the honeymoon, but they thought they'll be able to go their separate ways once they land in this exotic beach island. But that simply does not happen. Everything that can go wrong goes wrong in this novel, and that's how the romance starts, the romance kindles. And this is again one of those cliche yet weirdly satisfying reads that I absolutely loved. The next book that I read is book number 11, which is called Pandemonium. Now, this is the second part of the Delirium series. So, in this book, again, we talk about the story of Lena. Now, Lena knows there is a world outside which does not believe in love to be a deliria, love to be a disease, and Lena wants to be a part of it. And I don't want to divulge a lot about this story. Let's just say that I did not like it as much as I liked the first part, but I think it was a decent book. The next book, which is book number 12, it's called Tigers for Dinner by Ruskin Bond. Now, this is a book that is basically meant for children. It's a very light, funny, and cute little read for children, which has these beautiful illustrations. Ruskin Bond talks about his own childhood when he had a cook in his house, and this cook in his earlier years used to work for Jim Corbett. Now, this cook Mahmood would tell him lovely stories of his own adventures and misadventures with Jim Corbett, working as a khansama for him, and these involved battling with snakes and cobras, and also adventures with crocodiles, with tigers and whatnot. So this is a lovely read for children. If you have a child in your house between 5 to 8 years, this is a book you can definitely gift them. They will love it, and I also loved it. The next book, that is book number 13, is called My Father's Garden by Hansta Sumendra Shekhar. Now, this particular book was also shortlisted for the JCB Prize for Literature for 2019. And the book tells us the story of this young doctor who discovers a lot about his own love, his own sexuality, and a lot more things. So, we have this unnamed doctor, the main central character of this book, who takes us through his life journey, right from when he was in medical school and he found love in another man, to when he moved forward in his life and started working as a doctor, to when he finally shifted to Ghatshila in his parents' house. So this is again a sad and very realistic story about the life in a tribal area. Quite honestly, I would not say that this was my best book by Hansta Sumendra Shekhar. I've read other books by him and I've absolutely loved his work, but it was a decent read. The next book, which is the book number 14, is called Krishna's Secret by Devdutt Patnaik. Now, this is a very, very short read. It's just 50 pages, and this is actually a mini book which is extracted from the main book, which is called Seven Secrets of Vishnu by the same author. So, in this book, the author talks to us about Sri Krishna, and he talks about how he is such an unusual god in everything that he does. So, he talks to us about how his mother is not his real mother, his beloved is not his wife, his love making is not really love making, and how his wars are also not real wars. So just how unusual Sri Krishna is the essence of this book is beautifully captured in this book. Book number 15 is a book that combines two of my most favorite things in the world, books and travel. So this author, Adam Fletcher, he goes on these crazy adventures with his German girlfriend. So he talks about his adventures in Chernobyl. He talks about freezing in a blizzard in China. He talks about this minutest part of Russia, which is not really Russia. It's basically the Soviet breakaway country called Transnistria, and this is a land which is so strange that you have to Google it and find out yourself. And then he also talks about ruining a mass dance in North Korea. Yes, he did go to North Korea and he did a lot of wonderful and weird things. So if you're a fan of travel memoirs, do check this book out. You will not be disappointed. Book number 16 is called Tiffin Memories and Recipes of Indian Vegetarian Food by Rukmani Srinivas. Now, this is a cookbook and also a memoir. So the author wonderfully combines both these things, and she shares with us 100 beautiful recipes of vegetarian food, of basically South Indian vegetarian food. She's talked about her various travels to big cities like Pune and Bombay, and also to different towns and different parts of the world like Boston and also UK. So it is in all these places that she grew as a woman and she grew as a cook, and she learned a lot more things about Indian vegetarian food. The next book, the book number 17, is called Requiem. It's by Lauren Oliver. It's the final installment of the Delirium series. Now, in this book, we get to see the magical transformation, the complete transformation of Lena. Like, Lena was a different girl in book 1. She was a little different in book 2, but in book 3, she changes completely. And she finally gets this point: you must hurt or be hurt in order to survive. So, this is the epic finale of this trilogy. Book number 18 is another non-fiction. It's called Coming Out as Dalit by Yashika Dutt. So this is the story of this journalist who was living in New York when certain events led her to come out as Dalit. She wanted to shed this garb, this falsehood of upper class, which she had been living for her entire life. And she talks about all of that in this book, and she also talks about her childhood. She also talks to us about Dalit history and Dalit movement and Dalit leaders and a lot of things. I think it's a book which should be read by everybody, not just Dalit people but also upper class people. Book number 19 is When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. So this is a book that I had heard so much about. Like, this book was all over Book.net, but I also saw a lot of negative reviews about this book. So I had set my expectations like really low. I was expecting it to be a very dull read, which is probably why I did not find it that bad. So there is this girl called Dimple who is very ambitious, but her parents want her to settle down in life, which means get married. And there is this guy called Rishi who belongs to a very well off family. His parents are rich and well settled, and they also want Rishi to settle down. So that is how they tell Rishi to go and woo Dimple, and Rishi goes. But Dimple doesn't know and she doesn't care. And that's exactly how the book starts and the drama unfolds, and slowly and steadily the romance gets built up, and it is very cliche. But still, it's a nice read for somebody who's looking for a light read. The next book, which is book number 20, is How to Hack a Heartbreak by Kristen Rockaway. Now, this is again a very light and fluffy romance. So, this is again a book which talks about this young girl called Mel. She's ambitious, she's driven. She works in the tech support department of this company which supports startup. And this company has all guys who are super hyped and they think very highly of themselves. They treat Mel really badly as if she doesn't know anything, and they take out all the frustration on her. Mel is very frustrated in her career because she doesn't get treated the way she deserves. And outside of her work life, when she goes back home and she tries being social and she tries her hand in the dating space, she's again frustrated because they're all kind of jerks around there, obnoxious men who doesn't know anything. So she's very sick of all these things happening in her professional and personal life when she comes across an idea to start her own startup. So this is again a nice and cheeky and light fluffy read. The next book, which is book number 21, is called Tattva, Soul and Karma, and it's written by this astrologer and palmist and tarot card reader Tanuj Lalchandani. So this is a book that talks about the various Indian gods and goddesses and how they influence the various planets because they are the presiding deities of these planets. It also talks to us about the correct way to worship these Indian gods and goddesses, and it is a book that kind of combines astrology with Hinduism and religion. It is a book that combines spirituality also with astrology. Book number 22 is a very short read. It's the only comic that I have featured in this video. This is Surya, How the Sun God Was Tamed by Maya Balse. Basically, this is a comics by Amar Chitra Katha, and if you guys know Amar Chitra Katha, you know how this book would be. So it's a nice book for anyone who wants to understand about the story of Surya, and yeah, it was a good read for me. Book number 23 is yet again a non-fiction that I read. It's called Think Straight by Darius Farooqs. This is a book that tells you that in order to change yourself, you have to change your thoughts. It tells you that 99% of your thoughts are useless. 99% of the time, you are thinking things that will not give you any benefit, that will not take you closer to your goal. So how to get rid of these bad thoughts, how to get rid of these useless thoughts, this is what the book tells you. The next book, which is book number 24, is a book that is by Haruki Murakami. Now, this is an author I absolutely love, but I don't know, somehow I did not like this book. So this is a very short read. It's 96 pages only, and it is illustrated, so it has a lot of these beautiful colorful illustrations. So this is the story of this guy, this small boy who goes to a strange library. He meets people who entrap him, and somehow he gets imprisoned in this nightmarish library. Book number 25 is called Dharma, a Rekha Rao mystery by V. Kumari. Now, this is a book which is a mystery thriller, a murder mystery, in which we come across this woman called Rekha Rao, who's a 30 something Indian American professor of history who gets sucked into a murder investigation when she gets approached by a police department to help them identify an idol of goddess Durga. Now, this idol of goddess Durga was used in a crime, was used as a murder weapon. But when she realizes that the police are going the wrong way, they're trying to get to the wrong person, she decides to intervene and take matters in her own control. And this is the story of that. The next book is called The Burning School, The Untold Story of Kashmir by Sandesh Raj. Now, this is a story that talks to us about this guy who is an IIM graduate, but he still doesn't want to go down the corporate ladder. Instead, he wants to go and serve the people of Kashmir. He wants to go to Kashmir and teach students and help them in their preparation for IIT JEE, because he knows that these people have no access to quality education. So, the valley in which he goes, it's burning, schools are getting burnt, and through this book, the author kind of tells you about the real story of Kashmir. You get to know so much about what goes on in Kashmir, the real side of stone pelting, the real side of school burning, the real side of militancy. The next book is called A Dual Dragon Throne by Arya Rajam. Now, this is a fantasy, a young adult fantasy, which talks to us about this beautiful kingdom of Silesia. Now, Silesia is a kingdom which is full of peace and everybody is happy. But somehow, a dark, sinister power is on the rise and people are threatened. The only way to rescue the kingdom of Silesia and also the whole world is when Princess Aurora, the king's daughter, will destroy this evil object. So this is a really thick read. It took me a lot of time to read it. But yeah, it's a decent read from a debut author. The book number 28 is called Mehman by Anuj Tikku. Now, this is a collection of travel articles which a lot of people have written, from Leh and Ladakh in Kashmir to Kanyakumari in Tamil Nadu, from Granada to Seville in Spain, and a lot more things. So, basically, it's a collection of travel writings. Book number 29 is called Why I Killed Gandhi, and this is by Nathuram Godse. Now, this was a disappointing read because I was actually thinking of it as a book, but it's not. It's just a 9-page short speech by the killer of Mahatma Gandhi. Just because it is marketed as a book, I was thinking there'll be some insights, there'll be some information, but I just did not get anything, so it was a disappointing read for me. Book number 30 is called Samsara, The Reflections of a Life by Anush Ravindranathan. So, this is the story of this guy called Kuttan who has lost everything in life. Because he has lost everything in life, he decides to end it, and he decides to end it at the exact day and time when he was born. But just before he does that, he tries to recollect all the things that has happened in his life. He tries to go back into his past and have a last look at his life. And this is the story of that. Book number 31 is The Story of a Long Distance Marriage by Siddhesh Inamdar. So, this is a contemporary Indian fiction which is about this modern urban couple called Rohan and Ira. Now, Rohan and Ira have been married for some time and they were living in Delhi, but when Ira gets an opportunity to study in New York, she decides to pursue her education, which will benefit her career in the future. Rohan also agrees because he's a kind of husband who is supportive, and he decides to stay back because his career is also looking good at the moment in the same city. Rohan, nevertheless, is still waiting for Ira to come back. But finally, one day, Ira tells him the real reason she had left, and that kind of shatters Rohan's life. And this is the story of a long distance marriage. The next book is called World's Best Husband by Nandita Saini. Now, this is a kind of autobiographical book, and this tells us the story of these two people and their arranged come love marriage. So, the first time when Nandini and Advik met, Advik was 24, Nandini was 22, and this meeting, this date was set up by their parents. But slowly and steadily, they found love in each other's company and they realized that they were just beautiful together. Book number 33 is called Webbing the Web Series Web. It's by Anuj Tikku, the author. So, in this book, the author tries to introduce the readers to the web series business. He talks about all the aspects of creating a web series, right from production to casting and everything else that is required. And he also talks about his personal experiences of creating his own web series. Book number 34 is called When I Was Husbandless by Ritika Madan. Now, this is a humorous kind of book, a comic take on the lives of Indian women, Indian girls, and Indian married women, and how life changes after marriage. Book number 35 is called Naad by Anuj Tikku. Now, this is again a non-fiction and it is a book about audiobooks. So, the author tells you how to create audiobooks, how to sell audiobooks, how to produce audiobooks, how to record, and everything that there is to know, he tries to tell in this book. The next book, which is book number 36, is called Unholy Tales from Banaras, and it's also by the same author Anuj Tikku. So this is a book that talks about this mysterious death that happens in Banaras. This death is of a priest, a temple priest. Now nobody knows, nobody has a clue as to what happened, but people are investigating themselves and people are building up their own theories. One of the theories says that there is a rise of occult powers in the town, and this is a mystery thriller that tries to solve that puzzle, that tries to find the killer, and that's the story and premise of this book. Book number 37 is called Hamari Gyano, and this is also a book by the same author, Anuj Tikku. This is actually a real story. This is the author's own personal story. So, this is the story of this maid couple who came from Nepal, and initially the guy had come to stay with the author's family, and slowly and steadily, as he grew up, he also brought along a wife, and then they started a family. And later, when his parents died, they tried to take away Anuj's property, they tried to claim his property, which rightfully belonged to the author. So, this is a true story that talks about greed and dishonesty. The next book, the last book, which is book number 38, is called Party Girls, and this is also by the same author, Anuj Tikku. So, in this book, the author talks to us about this event management company which is run by a rustic Bihari guy. This guy has a whole lot of girls that he supplies to various individuals, various clients, high profile clients who love to party with these girls. And this is again an attempt to dive into the dark underbelly of the rich and high flying world. So guys, these were the 38 books that I read between January and May. From 1st of January 2020 to 31st of May 2020, I read 38 books, and this was a list of that. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and do let me know how many books have you read in 2020 until now. Are you ahead of me or are you behind me? Let me know in the comments below, and also tell me which is your favorite book until now. Until the next video, which will be pretty soon. Bye.